all members of House Targaryen, we won! We won! Yet again, we won! Yeah! Justice for Daenerys Targaryen!
Give me your wig, cause it seems like you are thrilled with it.
I am excited! Wake your asses up! I have some news if you haven't seen it already. Before I get into it, make sure that you're going to patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I just put up a new episode up there entitled That's Biphobic, Sis.
Welcome to another episode of the Expression Podcast. I'm Adrian and I'm also excited because there's so much juicy stuff to talk about. Let's get into it.
Because I ended up starting this whole debate on social media about biphobia, especially when it comes to bisexual men and how they face biphobia when it comes to the dating scene and some of the stereotypes and false narratives that a lot of hetero women believe about bisexual men. And of course, not only in the heterosexual community is there biphobia, there's a lot of biphobia in the LGBT community. So that was a whole podcast. I also talked about, of course, the current events that happened during the episode. And I also read some of your comments that you guys left on Patreon. A lot of them were about the queer community and finding circles, friend groups within the queer community, and also like getting over straight crushes and relationships that lie outside of the heteronormative standard. So it was a really good episode. I would suggest that you go over there, listen to it. Let me know what you think. I always want your input and I always want you guys to leave comments so that I can include it, or letters or whatever questions, so that I can include it in the episodes. I'm having fun doing them and I'm so happy that you guys are interested in listening. All right, so I'm not gonna waste any time, okay? If you're not a Targaryen loyalist, all right, if your house words are not fire and blood, if you're with one of these other whack ass houses, I suggest that you get with the winning team, ho. I suggest that you get with the winning team. So there's this big announcement, all right? And I'm just, the nerd is jumping out. There's this big announcement that happened. HBO said, guess what, sis? We're not doing that blood moon bullshit. Now, I didn't want to be the one to say it, but girl, dragons over White Walkers over the long night any day. The House Targaryen of the blood of old Valyria over them whack ass White Walkers and Night Kings and shit any day. Do you hear what I'm saying? So as you guys know, they had been trying to develop these prequels for Game of Thrones and, you know, pushing pilots and stuff. There was this announcement before saying that they're going to cover the long night and just how we got there and all this, how the darkness covered the earth and all the magic and shit. I was like, okay, that's cute. I end up watching it just because I love, you know, the Game of Thrones franchise in general. But I was like, in all honesty, I want to see the Dance of Dragons. I want to see the Dance of Dragons! I was like, I want to see the Dance of Dragons. I want to see House Targaryen. I want to see old Valyria. I just want to see it. I want to see the Doom of Valyria. That's what I wanted to see. So when I heard that they were developing the other prequel, I was like, okay, I want that one to win. Now, yesterday, they just announced. Oh! The flavor. Yesterday, they just announced that they canceled that Blood Moon bullshit. I don't know if it's called Blood Moon, the Long Night, whatever you call it. And they're going to give us a prequel surrounding the rise and fall of the House Targaryen, the dynasty of House Targaryen. We had no other choice but to get on our dragons, ride to Dan and Dave's house, save Dracarys, and stand, because they're not going to be involved with this. You hear what I'm saying? They're not going to be involved with this, and they're obviously not going to be involved with Star Wars either. They say they too busy or whatever. Girl, no, your mediocrity jumped out. Anyway, so rumors are they might cover the Doom of Valyria. Of course, they're gonna get into Aegon's conquest. And then most likely they're gonna descend into the Dance of Dragons. And the Dance of Dragons is a civil war, a Targaryen civil war. So I cannot wait to see the fire and blood that's gonna be splattered all over my TV screen. I can't wait to see it. So the thing that's making us very excited is definitely not the name of this series, okay? They call it the House of the Dragon or something like that. And I'm like, y'all could have kept it at Fire and Blood, or maybe the Blood of the Dragon, but it's okay. I like the Blood of the Dragon. I think they're trying to include dragon in the title so that they get the general public, people who are not book readers or who don't know much about the lore, to just get excited about the fact that there are going to be dragons in there. But I would have preferred the title to be The Blood of the Dragon. Hear what I'm saying? So George R.R. Martin is going to be co-executive producer, so you don't have to worry about that. They have source material that they're going to work off of as well. It's not going to be like last time where they just ran out of shit and Dan and Dave just freestyle poorly, inefficiently. Miguel Sapochnik, who directed major battle sequences in episodes like Hard Home and Battle of the Bastards, he's going to direct multiple episodes, including the pilot. So it just seems like we're going to get what we've always been asking for, what we've always requested, okay? Dragons are going to descend from the sky and burn you bitches up. It's time for y'all to just bend the knee to House Targaryen. All right, so what else is going on? So a lot of your faves have been doing Halloween costumes. I saw that Nicki Minaj did a cute ass Harley Quinn. I don't know what the rest of you girls are doing. Beyonce, I know that she's gonna post her pictures maybe a month after Halloween. But see, speaking of Beyonce, Ciara and Russell came and did the goddamn thing. Ciara, sis, you did that thing. Sis, you need to unblock me. Sis, what's going on? You need to unblock me. Y'all were out here trying to give us all types of on the run type of tours. My usual joke would be to say like on the walk or on the jog tour, but honestly, y'all did, it looks really good. I can't shade this shit. It doesn't even look off brand, sis. It looks good as hell. And it's something I did not expect to see when I woke up this morning, but I'm glad that I did. Ciara, it seems like you're living your fullest and freest and happiest life with a fine ass man by your side who loves and respects you. And so we had no other choice but to be happy for that, all right? So y'all already know there are 2 episodes of Watchmen that have already come out on HBO, and it's been very good. It's been very good. It's been a critique on society like Watchmen, the comics was, and the movie was, but it's modernized, and the show can be seen as a mirror that Americans are forced to look into. You know what I mean? Especially for a show to start out immediately with a bang with something like the destruction of Black Wall Street. The show is forcing America to look at themselves, right? So when it comes to the critics, they're talking about 98%. They're talking about this is so amazing, it's great, it's well done, it's well constructed. But some of these white fanboys are so pissed. They're calling Watchmen a liberal utopia. It's liberal propaganda. And they're mad at how the legacy of Rorschach the character Rorschach is being presented. I'm just like, sis, if you actually were aware of the source material, and I didn't even read the goddamn comments, but I'm aware, I did the research. If you were aware of the source material, you would understand why the 7th Cavalry is the way it is, why the legacy of Rorschach is the way it is in the show, sis. This is coming from the Daily Beast. So they describe the show. In this present day alternative history, the character of Rorschach, who dies near the end of the comics, has become a symbol of white supremacy with racist, anti-police vigilantes sporting versions of his ink blot mask to conceal their faces. This upset a legion of the comics fans who view Rorschach as a hero, not a fetish object of the alt-right. This is despite the fact that in the source material, Rorschach is outwardly racist, homophobic, sexist, and a total and complete fascist. So honestly, all we can draw from this is that white supremacists, racists, and misogynists are getting angry that they're being displayed in exactly the light that they present themselves. And what we can also draw from this is that the people that the comics or the franchise of Watchmen was critiquing and talking about and dragging in the first place didn't even understand that they were getting dragged. What we're going to do is continue to watch. We're going to continue to stand Regina King with her supreme acting skills. That's what we're going to continue to do. And they can stay mad, they can stay pressed about it. Y'all just need some comprehension skills. Don't blame the showrunners for that shit. So something else that happened this week, although it's not surprising, was chaos on The View. Now, I have critiqued Whoopi Goldberg in the past, and I will continue to, because sometimes she says some weird shit, you know what I mean? But there's nothing that gives me greater joy than seeing her drag the shit out of Meghan, my father, Meghan, my father, McCain ass, from here to there. I love to see it. And I love every time she flexes and says, we'll be right back, and just cuts to commercial, since Meghan wants to cut everybody else off with her ideas that sound like flatulence. Meghan McCain is a child. She is completely immature. She lacks any type of esteem or confidence in her goddamn self, because someone who really believes in what they're saying and believes in themselves wouldn't have to act in that way to make themselves feel good about them goddamn selves. You see what I'm saying? I'm so sick of hearing her great value Tommy Lauren built ass ideas. I'm so sick of seeing her tired attempts to string together a thought that makes any type of logical sense. It's so unnerving and so disgusting to watch her try and rummage through her brain to try and find something that looks remotely like common sense. You see what I'm saying? Anytime that Whoopi gets up there and drags her ass across that table, it looks like if she keeps pushing it, if Meghan keeps pushing that shit, it looks like Whoopi's gonna actually get out her chair and drag her literally across the view table. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is that, Meghan, I wish that you would just shut the hell. I wish that there was a zipper that I could just place on your mouth and just, and we wouldn't have to hear anything again. So this is another reason why I suggest that you go over to patreon.com/AdrianExpression, because on that episode I took a few moments to talk about what Kanye West said about black people and the Candace Owens talking points that he gave during that Beast interview. Very much, oh, black people don't have a culture, even though the only reason he exists in such a mainstream ass area is because he participated in black ass culture. Even with the pandering, in my opinion, that he's doing right now comes from some whack ass gospel music, and gospel music in general is black culture. So for him to get up there after making all this money off of black culture, to get up on these platforms and say that there is no goddamn black culture is absolutely asinine. So I talk about that and more in my podcast. So I want you guys to go over there, check it out, let me know what you think. We had some good ass discussion. So the last thing that I want to discuss are these California fires. Now, of course, we all know, it seems like every day that I wake up, there are new reports about how, oh, guess what? We thought climate change was horrible, but actually we're doing more specific and efficient research, and we're finding out that it's worse than we thought. Every day I wake up, it's a new goddamn report. So we can see clearly the effects of climate change. California fires eating up, I think the Getty fire, was like 500 acres, and it's just fires out of control over there in California, right? So there was this Twitter post about, oh, look at the inmates, they're coming in to fight the fires. Yes, the good work that they're doing. And every time I hear about inmates going over there risking their lives to fight these fires, and they're getting paid either $1 an hour or $2 a day, it's absolutely crazy. So this is coming from the San Francisco Chronicle, right? The compensation for these inmates who are going to fight fires, the compensation averages only about $2 a day plus an additional $1 per hour when they're fighting an active fire. In 2018, there were about 3,700 inmates working at fire camps, but this program in general has been estimated to save the state, and I think the state of California, $100 million annually. And that's what it saved the state, the dollars. But the crazy thing about this is that when the people who are locked up get out, they're not even qualified. They can't even get a job as a firefighter. The article goes on to say California law states that certifications must be denied or revoked for multiple reasons, including if the person has been convicted of 2 or more felonies, if the applicant is on probation or parole for any felony, or if they've been incarcerated for any felony in the past 10 years. So they're good enough to chuck a couple dollars at them to go fight the fires while they're in prison, but when they get out, they can't re-enter society in a very substantive and promising way by becoming a firefighter. There was a bill introduced by Assemblywoman Reyes of San Bernardino, and it would open up a pathway for individuals who have demonstrated rehabilitation and desire to work as firefighters. But California's largest firefighter union has apparently come out in opposition of the measure, in opposition of this bill, saying that lawbreakers don't meet the high standards that the career demands. So what is the truth? Because if they couldn't fight fires, if they couldn't do the job efficiently, y'all wouldn't be chucking a couple of pennies at their ass for them to go risk their lives to try and prevent some of y'all $1 million ass houses from burning up. What is the truth? I think a lot of the problem is the fact that we are extremely lazy when it comes to rehabilitation and criminal justice in this country. We see in a lot of developed countries that these prisons, they're damn near empty, or they're not staying in there for a long time. You just get rehabilitated and you re-enter society. We don't have that viewpoint here in America. We're just very much, toss a person completely away if they did something. I think there was another story about the NYPD tasing somebody who was fare beating, who did not pay the fare to get on the subway, tasing teenagers, okay? So that's the type of justice that we be serving in America instead of something that is humane. And it's crazy because we already know that black community minorities are disproportionately affected, unfairly treated by this criminal justice system. So to just toss away all prisoners and act like they ain't humans is extremely dangerous. But that's what we do. And I literally hate to see it. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. Make sure that you're going over to patreon.com/AdrianExpression and signing up, listening to the podcast, getting all these videos extra early. Make sure that you don't do what Daenerys did. Don't listen to dumbass men so that you can have a good goddamn evening.